February 25th, 1957. A college student is checking his muskrat traps in a wooded area off Susquehanna Road in Philadelphia. It's cold, quiet, just another day. He's walking through the underbrush when he sees something that stops him in his tracks. A large JCPenney bassinet box, the kind used for cribs, just sitting there among the trees. It looks out of place. He walks over to check it out. Inside that box is the naked body of a little boy. He's maybe 4 or 5 years old, wrapped in a plaid blanket. His body has been scrubbed clean. His hair has been recently cut, badly, with chunks missing. He has bruises all over his small body. He's been dead for days, maybe weeks, and nobody knows who he is. Nobody has reported him missing. It's like this child never existed. That was almost 70 years ago. We still don't know his name. We still don't know who killed him. We don't know where he came from or who his parents were. He's called the boy in the box, or America's unknown child. And his case is one of the most heartbreaking unsolved mysteries in American history. The autopsy revealed horrific details. This little boy had been severely abused over a long period of time. He had old scars all over his body, signs of repeated beatings. He was malnourished, underweight for his age. His fingernails and toenails had been trimmed very recently, right before death. Someone had given him a crude haircut, cutting his hair unevenly, possibly to change his appearance or make him harder to identify. The cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma to the head. Someone had beaten this child to death. But he'd been cleaned thoroughly after death. His body had been scrubbed, his hair washed. Whoever killed him had taken the time to clean him up, cut his hair, trim his nails. Then they wrapped him in a blanket, put him in that bassinet box, and dumped him in the woods like garbage. The police were desperate to identify him. They took his fingerprints and ran them through every database. Nothing. They circulated photos of his face post-mortem, sending them to police departments across the country. Newspapers published the photos. Thousands of people saw that little boy's dead face. Nobody claimed him. Nobody recognized him. Not a single missing persons report matched. The investigator assigned to the case, a detective named Joseph McGillen, became obsessed. He kept the boy's photo on his desk for decades. He followed up on every lead, every tip, every possible identification. He visited orphanages, churches, hospitals, anywhere a child might have been. Nothing. McGillen worked the case until he retired, and even then, he never stopped thinking about that boy. He died in 2013 without ever learning the child's name. The JCPenney box gave them a lead. It was traced to a specific shipment that went to a JCPenney store in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania, just 10 miles from where the body was found. Detectives went door to door in the area showing the boy's photo. They talked to hundreds of people. Several people said they'd seen a boy matching his description in the neighborhood, but nobody could give concrete information. One woman said she'd seen a boy like that in a house nearby, but when police investigated, they found nothing. The blanket the boy was wrapped in was also traced. It was a cheap plaid blanket sold at dozens of stores in the area. Dead end. They found a man's corduroy cap near the box. Didn't lead anywhere either. Every piece of physical evidence they had just led to more questions. In 1960, a woman came forward with a story that seemed promising. She said she'd bought a bassinet from JCPenney for her daughter who was pregnant. After the baby was born, she'd given her daughter the bassinet box to store things. Her daughter lived with a man who was violent and abusive. The woman claimed her daughter and this man had a foster child, a little boy, who the man would beat regularly. One day the boy died from the beatings. They panicked, cleaned his body, cut his hair to change his appearance, and dumped him in the woods in that bassinet box. The story fit perfectly. Too perfectly, actually. Investigators looked into it hard. They interviewed the daughter and the man. Both denied everything. There was no record of them ever having a foster child. The woman who came forward had a history of mental illness and making false claims. The story fell apart. It was either a complete fabrication or a confused memory mixed with details from news coverage. Over the years, other people came forward claiming to know who the boy was. A boy who lived next door who disappeared. A nephew who went missing. A son who was given away. Every single lead was investigated, and every single one went nowhere. Either the timeline didn't match, or the supposed missing child turned up alive, or there was no documentation to support the claim. In 1998, a woman named M came forward with the most detailed story yet. She claimed the boy was purchased by her abusive mother from his birth parents in 1954. Her mother kept the boy in the basement of their house, barely fed him, beat him regularly. One night, her mother was giving him a bath and got angry when he vomited up his dinner. She beat him so severely, he died. Then she and M's father cleaned the body, cut his hair, wrapped him in a blanket, and dumped him. M's story included specific details about the crime scene that hadn't been made public. She described the blanket, the box, the location. Investigators took her seriously. But when they tried to verify her story, problems emerged. The house she described didn't have a basement in 1957. Her siblings denied her entire story, said she had serious mental health issues and a history of false accusations. M herself was inconsistent in later interviews, changing details. Without physical evidence or corroboration, they couldn't prove her story was true. It remains one of the most credible leads, but it's never been confirmed. The case went cold for decades, but advances in DNA technology gave it new life. In the 2000s, investigators exhumed the boy's body to get DNA samples. They ran his DNA through genealogy databases looking for family matches. Nothing came up. Nobody in any database was related to this child. It's like he came from nowhere. In 2016, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children did a facial reconstruction of what the boy might have looked like alive. They created a sculpture showing him with a slight smile, trying to humanize him to help people see him as a child rather than just a crime victim. The image was circulated widely. Still nothing. Nobody recognized him. In recent years, genetic genealogy has been used to solve cold cases all over the country. It's how they caught the Golden State Killer. Investigators hoped it could identify the boy in the box. They uploaded his DNA to genealogy sites, looking for distant relatives who might lead to his identity. As of now, they still haven't found a match strong enough to identify him. So who was this child? The most heartbreaking theory is that he was never reported missing because nobody cared that he was gone. He might have been the child of someone living off the grid, maybe transients or people involved in illegal activities who didn't want police attention. He might have been kept hidden his whole life, never registered with any school or hospital, never documented anywhere. When he died, his abusers just threw him away like he never existed. Another theory is that he was an undocumented child, maybe brought into the country illegally, kept as a servant or worse. When he died, whoever had him couldn't report it without exposing themselves, so they disposed of him. The saddest possibility is that his parents or caregivers were the ones who killed him, and they simply didn't report him missing because they knew they'd be caught. They just moved on with their lives like he'd never been there. The boy was buried in a potter's field in 1957 in an unmarked grave. The city paid for it. Nobody came to the funeral except investigators and the medical examiner. No family, no friends, nobody who loved him. In 1998, he was moved to a proper burial plot with a headstone that reads, "America's Unknown Child." People still visit his grave, leaving flowers and toys. Strangers who never knew him but want him to know someone cares. The case remains open. Philadelphia police still receive tips occasionally. They still follow up on every credible lead. Investigators haven't given up. They still believe someday someone will recognize him or a DNA match will come through. But it's been almost 70 years. Everyone who might have known him is likely dead. His parents would be in their 90s or hundreds if still alive. Anyone who was an adult in 1957 is gone now. The window for solving this case the traditional way is closing. What makes this case so haunting isn't just that it's unsolved. It's the complete absence of this child from any record. He was alive for 4 or 5 years. He existed. He laughed, he cried, he felt pain and fear. But there's no birth certificate, no hospital records, no photographs, nothing. It's like he was erased from existence before he was even born. Someone out there knows who he was. Someone knows what happened. Maybe they're dead now, taking the secret to their grave. Maybe they're still alive, living with the guilt. Maybe they don't feel guilty at all. But somewhere, somehow, this child had a name. He had a mother who gave birth to him. He existed in someone's life, even if only briefly. The boy in the box deserves a name. He deserves to be remembered as more than just a case number or a tragic mystery. He was a little boy who suffered terribly and died alone, unloved, unwanted. The least we can do is remember him. The least we can do is hope that someday someone will finally tell us who he was. If you have any information about this case, any family stories that might connect, contact the Philadelphia Police Department. Even the smallest detail could be the piece that finally solves this. Genetic genealogy is getting better every year. More people are uploading DNA. There's still hope. That little boy's story shouldn't end with him being unknown forever. He deserves better. He deserved better then, and he deserves better now. Rest in peace, unknown child. Whoever you were, you mattered. You still matter.